Alrighties. Hello, everybody. I said I will do this the second everything gets sorted out. It did take me a little bit of time to make sure everything really does work and is sorted back to normal. I'm officially, finally got permission and approval from YouTube. There you go. I'm officially a YouTuber. There you go. Unbelievable. It actually finally happened after 5 entire months. Well, actually, right, 2 years, but screw that. That's not what we're here for. Let's go over the market really. Honestly, we didn't have anything all that crazy. I know people are going like, Greg, no, nothing that crazy. Yeah, not all that crazy. Because again, if you're biased and you really want to see it from the standpoint of what we had today relative to what we had yesterday, it does appear to be a lot more bearish. Sure, those who do follow the lives on a daily basis, no, this is nothing all that surprising, nor is it something we did not expect, right? But then again, since we've finished today's session completely, really, and what we're about to see basically will spill over to next week. It's mainly going to be next. We're going to be mainly talking about next week's session. So yeah, let's plow through that. Hello, everybody. By the way, I didn't say hello, Danny. Hello, Christoph. Hello, Badwares Gang. Hello, Mr. Awesome. Hello. Thank you all for showing up for that very late Friday, which is very unusual. I know, I'm so sorry. Probably a lot of people are simply incapable of joining. Well, but it is what it is. I will start on the note. Normally, you don't hear me say these sort of things, but I will say, I told you so, guys. I told you there's a bigger correction coming on, and everybody were screaming, no, no, we're bullish, to the moon, to the moon. And suddenly, everybody embraces very quickly the narrative of, yeah, things are not necessarily going as planned. A lot of fears based upon Trump's administration. A lot of things that really sort of, if it's from geopolitics, if it's energy prices, if it's inflation itself, if it's hiring numbers, if it's layoffs, if it's the real estate sector of things. It doesn't matter whether you're looking at one side or another. There's a chip sector. That doesn't matter really. Everything seems to be cracking. Weirdly enough, right? Hello, Casey. Howdy. Love your hellos, man. Like a real cowboy. Now, it does appear to be that things are cracking, and ironically enough, nothing really changed. And something I've been warning my members on the Discord and Discord community for quite a while. That really what will happen, it will not be that conditions will not necessarily change. It is these very same conditions that we had before now will suddenly start to be perceived as really bad conditions and various fears. And of course, the media will justify it by fears of tariffs and all sorts of Trump-related excuses, which is, in all honesty, is complete and utter bullshit. If there's anything good for the U.S. economy in the world of politics, in the American world of politics, is Trump. Is a great businessman who truly does this almost as if it's some sort of calling. So honestly, I think for the economy, it's actually vice versa. For me, ironically, I will say that if anything, I expect Trump to be healthy for the economy. It just means that things are that bad, and I don't even want to wonder nor speculate what if things would have looked like if it would have had Kamala take the administration. So yeah, or Democrats, if you will. Okay, so let's plow over the time frames. Let's do our regular stuff here. Pick your narrative. Right, it's almost exactly pick your narrative. Grab a bucket of popcorn, lean back, and just kind of enjoy the show. But really, it is what we've gotten to is an inevitability that was long time in the making, and we were building up towards this moment. And in fact, it was quite obvious, which is also ironically puts the question of how seriously and realistically did the Democrats really want to win this administration, because they knew how badly they messed things up. So of course they pretended, because it's going to be so also weird if they're just giving away the administration, right? But they might have well just kind of did that by nominating Kamala. That was kind of a suicidal move from their side. That's obvious. So I mean, those are like separate things. But yeah, sure, absolutely. Choose your narrative. At the end of the day, it's all the conditions are shitty as we see it, and we're gonna go over and see right now. Why did I do that? That was not a correct decision. That should have been there. Okay, now let's go over the things we see. Objectively, I mean, 1 minute doesn't matter, especially today. Well, today, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? We're going to open up probably with a significant gap. In fact, since we've opened up this gap right above us, I'm not going to be all that surprised. And we marked it showing that potentially the price action will overcome and close this gap. This is not going to be an abnormality. If anything, it's a more of an abnormality to actually leaving it be. So the 1 minute really don't have anything to grasp onto, and whatever we see is going to sort of play out within minutes at the market open and readjust for sentiment after the weekend, which normally it's not, it is very volatile normally. So I mean, we should expect the next week just to open in a very volatile fashion, as normally it would after a weekend. And so what we're seeing on the 1 minute really doesn't matter. In fact, to some extent, we can argue that the 5 minutes don't matter as much. It will play out probably regardless. I would say that there is high probability for the price action to hit this particular area. I'm sorry, boys and girls, but there are explosions above me up in the sky. There are no sirens, which is very weird, but pardon me, I gotta check this out. Sorry for that. I have no idea what I've just heard, but that was weird. In any case, back to where. What part of the US? Israel. I'm not in the US, sir. I'm TCC. I'm in Israel. Uh, I don't even know what I've heard just right now. I have no clue. No sirens, no nothing. That's weird. Anyway, back to business. So really, I don't think we should be able, nor would we be able to read anything that substantial out of the 5 minutes. But just the junction that we have based upon how it's structured, I'm not going to be all that surprised if we will end up testing the median of the longer, slower channel, right? That's the wider one, the green and the red we have. And the faster channel is the yellow and the red. So this is basically created out of a smaller average of candlesticks, and so subsequently creates this more relevant, more actual, what appears to be price action, but it's only visible when you do zoom out. You realize, oh, well, yeah, wait, we're actually in a far larger channel that is going downwards. And sometimes it can contradict. Those of you who remember, we were predicting the price action to drop. Originally, the original prediction was for the price action to drop something akin to this, eventually making its way into that red bubble, which resides roughly around 5,700. Now we've seen that we were not able to make it last week. Of course, there was a prediction. Those who watched the videos and the lives and do join the community have been with us know that we objectively said that it's very unlikely to happen last week unless just some very, very bad narrative or sentiment will make it break even lower. Realistically, we didn't see that. So what we are seeing is another sort of attempt to go at it. And as we said, it's going to be far more likely that we end up with in similar levels. Just it will take us another week. So we're going to end up doing it next week. And there is a sort of, you're probably asking yourself, what is this orange line, Greg? Are you saying the price action will go up? I am saying it can. I'm not going to be all that surprised if it will do that effort to close some of the gaps, some of the sort of leftover remnant chores, if you will, that we have, and finalize this movement. Will that be pattern breaking or contradicting to the trend? Not at all. In fact, very normal. You'll see the larger channels, you'll understand why that is actually very, very likely. But yes, as you're seeing this current channel on the 5 minutes, it within itself is already indicating that we might end up continuing, right? Continuing at this rate, we might end up hitting that level as is, right? Just kind of perfectly as I've described last week. As we might have next week, having the price action break down and basically play out and break down to 5700. Those are the levels we're currently talking about, and I gotta take myself some credit because nobody apparently is gonna give me that credit. But boys and girls, I was legitimately the first and only one who told you this thing is gonna happen whether we like it or not. It doesn't matter whether what we do, left or right. It is inevitable. It's gonna happen, and once it starts moving, it's gonna be disgusting. And I don't even think people realize how bad it's going to be because we haven't even started yet, and people are already crying their asses off because Palantir is back to 66, and Tesla is at 393. God damn it, guys! I am hearing some weird stuff. Give me a sec. I realized I'm a freaking moron, and this is just lightning and thunder, which is hilarious. This is how paranoid we got in Israel, to the point where thunder basically makes you look out the window and think, oh shit, we're being bombed again." So yeah, that's a fun paranoid lifestyle right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the me going bananas there. So yeah, turns out it's just thunder. Cool. Coolsies. Alrighty, so 5 minutes all in all, as we said, will probably still play out, retesting higher, right? Even if not by a bit, right? Look at this. We said we end up doing higher, right? And eventually testing this channel, sort of potentially dropping back down, right? One way or another, whether it plays out this way, ish, kind of, as you can understand. I just kind of made it look weird. So that should, if anything, why did I lock it? More like this, if that makes a lot more sense to you, I guess. That will make a lot more sense. Yeah, so that's the prediction on the sort of weak range, but let's see whether we can confirm that sort of behavior based upon the momentum. So if we're looking at the momentum right here, at face value, we're already bearish, but we are moving towards convergence. Moving towards convergence, that means there will be a relief moment, and so you'll have a little bit more bullish momentum. Sure, exactly as described, right? Which coincidentally matches that area. If you are very attentive, you realize it's actually sort of a crossroads between the median of the short term and the long term channel. So they just coincidentally end up matching right here, right where the gap is. So it still does appear to be that the market might want to close 5909, potentially retesting higher, because don't forget we are still above the 50 range on the stochastic RSI, which in overall symbolizes a bullish momentum, if you will. Even though not as aggressive as it would be above, but it still is more bullish than bearish. It is only once we cross that threshold of the 50 that we get more bearish momentum printing. Now, let's look at the 45 minutes. We know how we like the 45 to conclude between the 30 and the hour. Really, this appears to be more bearish. So the question comes into mind, do we really have the necessary momentum to make it that high as presented in the picture, in the 5909, which we know to be a very strong and consistent support and resistance? Realistically speaking, currently as a structure, I can easily see or trace how we might make it to this median level, right? Making it to this median level gives us roughly about 58.67-ish area, and that's kind of this very slow diagonal range. So of course, can happen a lot quicker, giving us, what is that, 58.69, call it 58.70. Okay, so 58.70-ish, that could easily be a location to where we make it back before we continue downwards. Why are we seeing that? Because again, we said we are seeing still more or less this conflicting momentum that is kind of stuck in between. It's the red end, which is dominant, is above the 50, right? The green end, which is the bull dominant, and it's actually bearish, right? It is actually recessive right now. Below that is actually below, so it's the recessive, again, it's the bottom, so it's weaker right now, and it appears to be right below the 50. I mean, look at this. This is kind of a weird circumstance. So what do we do with the 45? Skip over to the hourly. Hourly will allow us to determine what really is going on, right? Will draw or will allow us to determine a clearer picture of what things look like. So all in all, we are kind of moving into this wedge, having this downwards trajectory, it appears to be. At face value, we are right now, well, bearish, right, at face value, and we are below the 50, which means we're having a lot more bearish momentum. Makes sense. So really, as we're starting to build outwards, we're starting to see that the price action of next week might appear a lot more bearish than bullish, right? So can we actually make it that far? Well, as the price action is being built up right now, it appears to be that not. It doesn't appear that we have the necessary momentum to make it that far. What we have right now is maybe enough to make it to the shorter range, shorter term channels, right? The shorter term in terms of time frame, we're looking about the smaller time frames and the short range of theirs, right? And with that, we conclude, like we said, 58.67. So that's kind of the area it can make it, in my opinion, doing its best, and then start correcting to the downside as expected. Now, when we do start moving to the downside, don't expect it to be smooth and easy, right? Don't forget we have 5800 right here, which at the end of the day is a psychological level and probably will take some time to break. So we're not going to be moving through this smoothly. In fact, we're probably going to be ending up testing it somewhat, because we know we have a very narrow, annoying range here from before, 5809.29 and 5800 flat. So subsequently, we're probably going to experience some unpleasantness here and retesting this level back and forth before we're able to actually continue. So something annoying akin to this, right? That is that. Let's continue to the 4-hourly. 4-hourly is actually very bearish if you want to be, objective about what it says at face value, because it's already below the 50 range, right? Clear divergence between the forces, bearish dominant, and moving clearly towards the bottom. Don't forget, we're probably going to get some convergence, divergence, and relief right here towards the 20 range, which is going to be very, very normal. If things will get real bad, we might plow through and just get into oversold conditions. Oversold conditions easily give us that 5700, which we've concluded that we're moving towards. So in other words, you might as well title or call this video SPX 5700, right? Does that mean we're just continuing to drop? Not necessarily. As we just presented, the market can be sort of, back and forth. Nothing is, as I used to call it, the serpentine movement. Basically, very much this, well, not left, it never goes left, but you get the idea. It's more or less this sort of back and forth and have some volatility and not just look like a straight line downwards. And nothing works this way. But that's the grand scheme of things. We are kind of expecting this week to start moving us closer to 5700. Subsequently, all related assets will show more pain. Does that mean we're going to drop that rapidly? No, actually, it's probably going to be a very back and forth sort of process, and I don't really think it's all going to be completed within 1 year. We're probably going to be dropping low, then high. It's going to be very nauseating, if you will, for people who are, especially people who started during, the last several years, if you will, to put in simple terms, will find a lot of the upcoming price action nauseating and will not know how to deal with it. And so that's actually where technical analysis shines and allows you to really read the market and understand what is more likely to happen, what is impossible to happen, and what the market is indicating that it's probable to do. And so from here on out, we're kind of seeing exactly that sort of scenario, how we can use technical analysis to our advantage to understand what are the upcoming steps, right? And sort of, plan from there on out, right? Well, same thing. We're seeing a similar phenomenon, not able to break the 50, basically retaining the lower range of the stochastic RSI, giving us more bearish price action, and more so we're bearish at face value. And of course, as we are bearish at face value, we're starting to point to the downside. If this will continue, we'll be able to last, basically get dragged out, we'll be able to make it slowly but surely to oversold conditions, confirming what we're seeing here. Remember, we're seeing this right now on the daily, and so if we're so bearish on the daily, should it be all that surprising if we're going to see the price action continuing to deteriorate? We're already starting to see hints that is very, very bearish. Now, larger time frame, basically, that indicates for a longer period. What are we at? We're looking at the weekly. We already are in oversold conditions. In other words, from here on out, it's probably going to get worse, confirming that 5700 shortly. Again, that gives us roughly that week's candle, and so easily we are looking basically at the upcoming 1 or 2 weeks bringing us downwards to this 57 level. And we're kind of seeing confirmation, or rather something that plays along very neatly with what we've seen with all the smaller time frames. Guess what? Monthly is cooperating and showing something very similar, and we're starting to break. really, we from here on out we will have a bit of a problem with larger time frames, but they're slightly deceiving based upon how things closed up, and well, they will be lagging. I wouldn't argue. I would argue that not to jump to conclusions to what really they are representing and showing right now, because they've just started moving, if you will. Even the quarterly is still fresh, brand new, and I would argue that we need a little bit more price action to actually determine how these will play out. But I would urge you to notice that on the 6 months, we're already starting to see what looks to be a bit suspicious behavior. Things are starting to curve down right there just a little bit, and that's already in this stage when we haven't even seen none of the red price action, that bearish momentum that we've seen, in the barrel of the smaller time frames. And once that starts to play out, small or medium, once it does start to play out, of course, it'll start printing. As the candlestick drives lower and lower and lower, you will see this bullish momentum breaking down lower and lower and lower, and creating a divergence, convergence divergence right here below the 50 or around the 50 range, pushing on the bearish narrative and moving, of course, downwards, giving us far more likelihood of seeing bearish price action. And subsequently here, we're going to see also convergence of the forces, as we've seen it start to break for quite a while. I know you would say, well, Greg, I mean, you said it's so important, right? But yeah, that's a 12-month candlestick, and we are literally within still the several first weeks of that candlestick, so I wouldn't jump to conclusions yet. Take it easy, all right? That's it. I think we kind of plowed through the S&P. We know what it is that we expect. We can go over the tickers. I really don't feel like wasting your guys' Friday on that. I do think I recommend those people who are not yet familiar with the community, although I believe mostly we have here just members. I have a feeling, join us on Discord. You'll be able to ask in-depth questions. You can ask the members right here, right now in the chat, how cool it is that we get to hang out and answer questions properly and in depth. And you're definitely more than welcome to join. To join, you need to join Patreon. I actually am sort of figuring things out already, in that sense that, here it is. Yeah, perfect. Now it shows. Don't forget that if you sign up to Patreon, this gives you basic Patreon, basically level. Don't forget to switch that wonderful thing on to get a discount. Basically here, what we're going to do is, instead of more so time, of course it will be limited to time, but more so people will have the access to me on a one-on-one call, not to teach them technical analysis per se, but to go over their individual assets and answer their individual questions. As you can imagine, this will grant you basically one indicator, one asset that we can look at. This is basic. This grants you sort of, the ability to be in the public. This will grant you one ticker. This will grant you 2 tickers a month that you can sort of approach me, and we're going to talk about this. And this will give you 3 tickers a month that you can actually ask me, and we analyze personally one-on-one together without the rest of the community. Just you and I talk about the individual asset you have. Yeah, that's kind of it. Honestly, I don't urge anybody to sign up for these tiers. This is kind of for people who really want to, support or whatever. Mostly, I recommend people to sign up for the basic stuff, get an impression of what we do in the community, how it all works, and if they feel like maybe taking a further step, of course, then feel free. I'm definitely not going to tell you no. A quick reminder, I do still have one spot. By the way, you sign up via patreon.com/investory. Very simple. Invest Ory, O-R-Y. Very simple. Very simple to get it right. Then you join our wonderful Discord that finally sort of is working the way it should, and the bots are working the right way. The open forum is right here where we hang out. And of course, I post all sorts of good information, whether it's students, whether we discuss all sorts of cool stuff. Why is it doing now? Anyway, so we're having all sorts of cool discussions right here in the various channels. The main channel we hang out in here is the open forum. The same way I just jumped in. You see, just click it and you end up jumping into that channel. Or in the one-on-one, like so, is where I handle my academy sessions, the one-on-one calls. Yeah, that is for you to know. And there's, of course, various channels, not just voice channels. It's very cool channels that we discuss. Everybody's more aware of what's going on. People just, can wake me up and say, come on, let's go talk about stocks. And I normally say, what are you talking about? I don't know what my name is and what planet are we on. But then I wake up and we start doing cool stuff throughout the day. Tickers, of course, where we discuss technical analysis of various tickers. We post stuff, ask questions, all sorts of cool stuff like that. All right. That is it, boys and girls. I highly urge you to join the community and benefit from all that cool stuff. Let's see. Best to be first. Oh, what's up, bro? Hello, Black Mamba. Sana and Tesla. I mean, all right. I mean, Tesla, all right. I mean, we can do Tesla, but it's pretty clear. We've covered this last week. Nothing really changed. I told you, boys and girls, we'll end up testing that 414 and 410. Look at that. Below and behold, the magnificent magic of being able to find support and resistance levels perfectly. Right? You see? Now that what the true sort of thing looks like. Now, we tested these. We are starting to see the breakdown. I mean, obviously, we switched over from being above these levels, right, very clearly, to being below these levels, very clearly. So now what was support is now resistance. Don't worry, I did not forget Sana. We'll do that next level. Give me a second already, just kind of, Tesla. Let's plow through this, right? Tesla, unsurprisingly so, is going to follow what the indices are doing. We kind of spoke about this quite a bit and quite in depth. You're probably still going to test 400 and 410 given the vicinity, given how close you are. I would urge you to notice that the price action is testing these levels as well. Notice this beautiful stuff. I mean, it's pretty clear what's going on here, right? You can see that it's following the trajectory, so that ceiling. Again, it's not perfect, but you generally can see it through the noise. And so this downwards trajectory is valid. You can see that. 414.50, 410, 400. And whatever 397 is descending. Current sell you're in, we can say 374. Once done, you're probably going to test this 373, this kind of area, if you will. If not successful, you're gonna break, and you're gonna break lower. Well, 350 psychological main level, because next very strong level you have that matters, that will really hold, will be the range between 350 and 328.32. So basically this area, right? So guess what? Is that gonna be linear? No, like we said, you have a process to complete right there. Okay, just in this area, and once complete, only then slide off. Okay, cool beans. So can we confirm that with momentum? I mean, sure. Let's see what the momentum says, where it matters. Oh, check this out. Surprise. The price action is well, have flew through any normalized supports and resistances, trying to make its way down. Here it is. And so yeah, there we go. You're kind of having the right ingredients starting to show up. What do we have here? Oh, but below and behold, we're already oversold. We're actually going downwards. Oh, that's not a big secret. It's like, you don't have to look at my leg to know that we're, moving in reverse, right? You just need to look through the windshield. Not that difficult. Or the speedometer, really. But yeah, we're slowing down. We ended up testing actually quite high. If you think about it, what we ended up doing is, well, retesting this sort of high levels. So, and simply by the virtue of breaking lower, retaining this channel, right, going to these channels, if you will, to give you a little bit more of a normalized perspective, we're probably looking at roughly around 196. So half. I mean, just half of where we're at right now. So 50% down. I know some of you probably asking yourself, I mean, Greg, you said at some point that we might still go back to the 106. We had that, and here it is, 106.84 level. We were talking about these levels back in the day, said when the recession will truly hit and conditions will truly get shitty. But well, guess what? We've moved along since then, and we've got really detached from the area. So now I have to raise my current lowest target to be 165.63. Does that mean I altogether say that the 106 will not happen? Well, not exactly. If we will end up actually finding bottom on 165, and then things will get just a little bit more messy, just for a little bit, I promise you that these $65 will be done in no time. And so, yeah, we still might see these low prices. Is that probable? Slowly, as we went that far as we got before the year got closed, this became sort of less likely. Completely unlikely? Not at all. I wouldn't say that. I would say first, let's actually drop to 300, let alone 200, and then I'll be far smarter to tell you whether we're actually actually able to continue and break to 100. You're like, Greg, so low, that's insane, that's impossible. I'm sorry, I'm just saying what I'm familiar with and how the market played before and what I've seen sort of the momentum being structured as. And I know this is very misleading. This is like, oh, this looks so bullish. I know, but really, what you need to understand that this cannot be bullish when the entire condition sort of all around will be bearish. Don't forget altogether, please. It's very important. The fact that I didn't throw a 50 range here doesn't mean we don't have one. We still do have one, and it still means that anything that happens below 50 is basically bearish, even though with temporary relief. So all in all, I hate to say it, do we get data? No, not yet. My God, when are we gonna starting getting data? When are we gonna starting getting data? That data will probably appear somewhere in the upper end, implying that might or will go lower, kicking us back into that range that we've been all along. Of course, not as low as like 30s, 40s, none of that, but I do think with $100 still. Give me a second. I'm so sorry for all the interferences. I think my cat is jumping around, making noise this time around as well because of the lightnings and the stuff. So yeah, that is Tesla for you. So Tesla liquidity. Wait, is that the original joke, Casey? Is that the original joke about Tesla liquidity, or are you legitimately asking? I mean, volumes are obviously decreasing. That's just kind of an obvious one. Is that a nod to the original joke about Tesla liquidity? Could that be it, Casey? Are you that? Have you been around with us for so long? You actually remember that one? Oh my God! Is that a reference to that one? I am not. I'm so not sure. I am so not sure. Oh my God! But it could be. It's such an obvious thing. Look, liquidity will start shrinking as momentum. They are basically intertwined with one another and implying one another. So, is that? Yeah, that's a. Oh my God, Casey, you've been with us for that long. Damn. Casey's a real OG. Damn, bro. Damn. I mean, but jokes aside, those who wonder about Tesla, like, of course it's going down. It goes hand in hand, boys and girls. It can't do anything else. I mean, if liquidity is increasing, then what the hell you think it's dropping for? Like, come on. All right, so we are going to do Sona. Let's do Sona. Sona, bitch. Alrighty. So let's do this. I already don't like it because it's biotech. But I mean, those who know that biotech is biotech and it's poop. All this looking fairly interesting. It's getting warmed. It's getting warmer, right? As I've expected. It's actually on a path downwards. Not clear. Cool beans. I would argue that it appears to be that it's far more likely to go downwards than upwards. Although right now it appears to be doing this weird cool thing that you're probably looking at. Now I'm curious. It's like, well, how will I deal with this? Like, give me a second. What will that look like in terms of structure? That's 24. That's um. mm, 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 mm. Is that my range? Is that my range? It's not my range. Or is that my range? That is such a problem. I feel like that's gonna be invalid, but let's test this theory out anyways. Worst case scenario, I'm wrong. Why am I being stupid again? There is validity to it. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty right. That's pretty correct. I'm already seeing that totally makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I can see that there. It's like, yeah. But okay, cool. That means that what does that mean for you? That means you're doing this channel. That means this ceiling. That means this median 5 3. That means you haven't really completed it ever, right? This has no data. 1 hour. Look, it is far more likely to go down. In fact, sadly, correct back down to that 275, I would argue. That probably is going to be your closest ally. Don't forget, you probably do have. Actually, I'm lying. Closest ally. Your closest ally will be probably 3, right? That's going to be your. That's going to be your closest ally, if anything. No, I'm lying again. Your closest ally will be 350. So, such as this, and then you're afterwards you're gonna have 3 and then 275. So prepare for this to be annoying, and given this channel bottom where it sits, I would argue that you're probably gonna end up testing, and yeah, that appears to be your direction all in all. And when completed, you're going to be a lot smarter to realize whether it's going to go even lower than that, or basically establish a whole new channel right here instead of going lower. That is for the time being. What does that mean in the long run? Really hard to say. I'm not sure how neatly and closely affected this thing is by the overall market. I suspect not too much, right? That's actually one of the benefits of biotech, because the people who invest in these companies oftentimes don't get too shaken up by major corrections in the market, believe it or not. They just kind of like, it's like a river that flows on its own, and it's like good for you that you have your mess. And sure, they do get affected some, but not as bad as you think. Sometimes when the market drops like $100, this thing can drop like 4 cents. Big deal. Like, well, accumulatively, it's all in all, and it shrinks as we go. So, you know. Mm-mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. Yeah, all in all, I do think these are your near-term allies, from what I'm seeing. That is it. What about that's like? It's crazy to think you've been with us so long, people watching, and only 9 likes. Ah, Leo, yes, the responsible adult in the room. Oh my god, I can't believe, Casey, jokes aside, you've been with us for so long. Oh my god. That just goes to show how time flies by. Time flies. Okay, let's look at this. What are we looking at? Healthcare. Cool. We are looking at healthcare. Is it cool? Is it really all that cool? Because I don't think it's all that cool. I think it's a lot of not cool. It's gonna be a very flat channel then, right? Let's see. So, 249 to 15. I wonder. When did that happen? That happened during 2001, right? So, sure. If I will, which meshes with this, obviously, then again, so it's here. That's here. Ugh, I wonder. Give me a sec. Hmm. Damn it. Damn it! I hate this chart. And heads up, I hate this chart. And you hate it too. You don't know it yet, but you hate this chart. Okay, so on this one, it appears to be that you're probably going to, in the near-term future, whenever it's going to happen, to test both of your 2360 levels on the retracement. Which I know it sounds weird, but it is what it is. And in fact, maybe even get locked in them between them for a little bit. You will end up testing back this thing, which is 26. You also have an 25 right there. Have a 25 right there. That 3004 might as well be considered as 30. Pretty self-evident. You definitely have your 20 there. Damn, you got a very... That is just a torturous thing. Why would anybody even get involved in such a thing? But if you do insist, you're stuck. You're stuck. This is your realm for the next whatever long time. Unless they come up with good results and narrative will start showing. For now, it appears to be like this is it. Your bottom is roughly around lowest. I mean, sure can be some slippage below the 1998. Call it like 1950 on a really bad day. If it happens to do that, and you're seeing right now is 2651. It does not appear that the price action, that the momentum you have right now with the current sort of conditions of the market are enough. You do have that very self-evident ugly gap, but I'm not sure how it treats gaps, but I have a suspicion that it probably likes to close them, being so volatile. On a really, 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 really good day, things will start really working out for you and some good sentiment will show up. You might make it to the top of the channel, which resides roughly at around 31ish right now, kinda. It might take some time, called 31, 32. If you make it there, you definitely want to confirm whether it appears to be, because this is probably what it's going to be like. If you don't, you have two scenarios here. One scenario breaks you earlier than the other and corrects you upwards. Another one keeps you higher and then corrects downwards. They're kind of opposite. I know it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it really has to do with how highly affected this asset will be from the overall market. And if so, of course, more pain in the system. If it's going to be able to withstand that, then it's the other case. It's the more bullish scenario that still does result in a bearish outcome. And if the market is not done by then, guess what? That will be your pathway from there on out. And probably like it's going to be this sort of thing, if you will. Yes, that's definitely a possible scenario in the long run. That kind of thing. So be aware. Be aware. Be aware. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That is definitely you. That is definitely a thing for you right there. Alrighty. What we're on? EXEL. Excel. We do Excel? Excel. I hope you guys are not hearing the thunder and stuff. It is noisy as all hell. It's like super noisy. Super duper noisy. Super duper. Now, let's look at this. Alrighty. Huh. Right. Okay, that's simple. We want this one. Okay, cool. $610 and $61.80 is a major important level, and you're finally there. I would argue that you're going to be stuck in it in testing, and this range, you get all the answers right away. This range is where you're going to be, what you're going to be for at least some time now, and then potentially, I think, if I'm not mistaken, bruh, bruh, yes, brought back down. So up in order for go down. Yes. So, absolutely, very correct. Cool, cool beans. I got it right. So you're testing this golden pocket and the ceiling of the current channels that you've been making, and once you will end up breaking down back to 2588. Of course, you'll have all the major culprits on the way, the 30, which coincidentally matches with this area, give or take, so not all that surprising. Like that. Your regular 25, which matches, of course. It's, oh, what an annoying thing. Of course it will do that. Of course it'll do that. So you're gonna have a tight range right there. And 20, 27. Okay, this is one hell of an asset. You guys are finding some interesting stuff today, I see. Cool, okay, cool, 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 cool. Definitely these, definitely that's the range. You can also clearly see the game there. In fact, I would argue the discrepancy on the levels ended up happening because the price action couldn't hold itself and just kind of ended up slipping through. Thank you very much. Next level, my pleasure. Come again anytime. Of course, what do you mean? No worries. I appreciate your appreciation. Yeah. Why don't you come up and join us next level? More joining us on the Discord. Come on, man. Come on, man. We can have a lot of fun, man. We had a really cool call today. Really good questions today. We really had Paulina there. Woo, killed it. Had really good questions. Everyone else also had good questions, but yeah, we actually ended up diving into a topic I've been dying to touch upon, which is identifying good experts and kind of how difficult of a process that is, what does that entail, and what kind of mindset you need to have, and all sorts of stuff. But that was a really good call. I really enjoyed today's call, I gotta say. Today we had a really good hangout. I'm so sorry today I ended up going live so late. I really am, guys and girls. I really wanted to go live. I was literally, I mean, I discovered it when I was trying to make it go on, like start live, and I didn't even realize I have these issues. But well, the outcome is that now my channel is official, so that's cool. That's pretty cool. We have to, take the good with the bad, right? But yeah, I told you, I gave you my word, I'll do that, and so I did. All right, let's do end tap. End tap. Let's do end tap. 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 All right, right. Now that is some good stuff right there. Now that we have some real good stuff to work there with. We love that. That is Amantashan good. That is very wonderful. I don't know where the thing is, and that's not good. I need it in logarithmic. There it is. Damn it. Of course, I should have known. It's gonna do that. Blasphemy. That's a good one. I already like this chart. It's gonna be fun. Okay, cool. Coolsies. Top channel going down to median 7860. Your current channel being tested. Your median is basically 9982, 9481, which is coincidentally matches perfectly with this. So basically, you're going here. X marks the spot. My God, I cannot draw an X for fuck's sake. What the fuck was that? No. Yes, here. Good. Bam, ladies and gents. This is gonna be it. This is what we're aiming for. I would argue this, of course, this channel plays somewhat of a significant role into. In fact, let's do this. So we're going here, and X marks the spot. No, you know what? Let's. I have an emoji. Emoji. What is my X? X marking the spot. Yes. Is this it? You want to use this, or should we use this? What do you want? Which one? Let's use this. Oh, stupid me. It's an ouchie. That's what they put in comics when a character gets bruised. So boom. See? X marks the spot. That was LeetCode. Oh my god, we have a new member I've never seen before. Welcome, LeetCode. You are, well, I'm a bit of a personality, a bit of a crazy person, but otherwise, welcome. So yeah, man, I should probably just be more specific with Leet, because I don't know how familiarized with Leet is. I hope I'm pronouncing it well. But look, the idea here is that you're currently testing the bottom of the channel, right? On the short term, you're already having negative momentum. Weekly matters. That means sort of longer duration process. You are also breaking your upwards channel that you've been in for some time now, kind of starting to follow that newer duration channel on the daily. Yes, you do still have a little bit of bullish momentum, but that just signifies the retest of that junction that you have right there. Then, in other words, what you're having is probably a retest and then a breakdown. This doesn't mean anything. It's useless. But yeah, here's your breakdown. Here it is. Here is your breakdown. And here is your top of the channel, similarly to everything else. And here is your channel, and that is your median of the median, because that's if you break, that's hard to explain, but try to save my own life. What I would sort of suggest that it looks like it's something akin that you almost break this channel into half. Like I said, I can't really do it right to save my own life, apparently. But see it as if it has this median channel in between, and coincidentally, wink wink, it sort of matches that wonderful thing. I cannot draw a parallel line. My god, what a freaking moron. Let's do it this way, and then adjust it that way, and then put it in the middle. What looks like middle? This. Okay, cool. Cool beans. You want to see that it's there? You don't believe me? Cool. Check this out. Yellow line, right? See? How did I know? Ah, secret. Very tightly secret recipe. You eat it with chips. It's a very secret recipe. How you know to find such things. Very secret recipe. So yeah, and the overarching sort of structure that you're having here is bearish enough, and you're already starting to see some of the effects of it, and all in all, it will start bringing you lower and lower and lower, eventually playing into this, given that it's already under the 50, which is very bearish in its nature. Basically, on the stochastic RSI, anything that is below 50 is not good for you. So check it out this way. Cool, done, cool beans. Yes, so you're already bearish with with a lot of bearish momentum at face value, continuing to oversold territory. In other words, boom, you're making it to that circle that I marked there with a crazy thing. Cool. I should probably remove all that noise so next time when we look at it, I'm not confused myself. Cool. Cool. I hope that done the din the dun the done did the dude do the did the done for you. Thanks, Songgreg, because time and job. I understand. Whenever you have time next level, I do understand. Everybody's working crazy hours nowadays. Some people have multiple jobs, so I totally understand. I do know you've been around next level. You've been around pretty much since for quite a while. God damn it! I mean, since I think the beginning of last year. I think so. You've been with us for quite a while, really. I really appreciate the support. I really appreciate all the members that do stay around and follow, even though the market does sometimes contradict some of the notions that I talk about. And I really do appreciate super chats now work. Everything should be working. Yeah, actually, now everything works. The thing is, I mean, you guys don't realize it, and something a lot of YouTubers don't talk about, and I just don't mind. Just like Tom, I will admit that I'm not like the way the YouTube thing works for me. I'm not even below the bottom threshold of anything. Like, I have, weirdly enough, a far bigger, more extensive actual community than YouTube makes it look like. So it's a bit of a problematic thing. Yeah, absolutely. Super chats do work, but it's like I'm not gonna see any of them, in a long, long time still. And it's cool, more than welcome, absolutely. But you know, do I really feel like you guys should do that sort of stuff? No, not really. No, no, not really. Unless you really, really, really want to. I don't know. Like, I mean, even that to me feels a bit weird. Honestly, at this stage of things, I understand that when people are competing for my attention, you have like the chat running at 3,000 miles per hour. Sure, I get it. But right now, we're not so many people. Guys, don't bother. Don't waste your money. Put it in the market. Um. Hi, Greg. Hello, Tungan. Hello. Lead code. All right. Cool, 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 cool. Cool. Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure, lead code. Don't worry, I'm here. No worries, Tungan. Now I feel safe. Tungan, now I'm not worried anymore. Now I know everything is good. Alrighty, boys and girls, final shout out real quick, although I believe since we're like 12 people here, and it's kind of pointless, and I'm just being an annoying asshole at this point. So, patreon.com/investory. Join the basic tier. I think it's more enough for the average person because they do spend so much time in the public, sort of in the open short, and I'll have a public area, but in the open forum with all the patrons, and I answer all the questions. Yes, it's public. That means there are other participants, but that's cool. Other people can learn and listen as well, and it's still very kind of homey, cozy feeling. And I really go in depth on things, and I show everything the same way we do here on live, but it's more personal. And if we want to, we can see each other's face holes and communicate that way. That's a pretty neat personal experience that we do. In the community in general, just provides a lot of valuable knowledge. I would argue it's up to you, boys and girls. I will name my first SQQ after you. That was a good one. You should not. I mean, it's one of those funny things that if you put on a t-shirt, nobody will ever understand that, right? But community-wise, it's so funny. It's gonna be extra funny. Like it's just funny. This is actually funny. I gotta admit. I will name my first SQQ after you. That is phenomenal. Don't you have a bunch of Leo? Come on, we know you have a whole bunch of SQQ. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Boys and girls, Leo is actually secretly one of the major holders in the SQQ. It's he's like the the major. He's the king of the hill, if you will. King of the hill, if you will. Alrighty, boys and girls, I think we've done for today. Everyone have a great weekend, a great Friday. I really enjoyed hanging out with you today. We will try to do a cool hangout over the weekend. We'll see how things will play out, of course. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Normally I do show up one way or another, whether it's something organized or not, but we will make an effort to have something one way or another. Alrighty. Boys and girls, I love you much. Join the Patreon. See you on the Discord. Have a great weekend. See you on the next one. Bye for now. And yeah, smash the like and stuff. Like everyone says, yeah, that apparently is important. Cheers.